Last stand. No surrender.
In that, yeah.
Oh,
Hello and welcome to this DEF CON 2 2v2 Warno tournament game. This is the playoffs now, the qualifiers have finished. So basically now it's best of 3 games between the teams, and whoever loses is knocked out of the tournament. There's no reruns now. Both of these teams have passed the qualifying stages, and now they're playing in the playoffs. So we're on tension. The picks for 2 Lakes 1 Cub is 8th Lynchie and 11 Easy for Many Cigarettes. They've put... Okay. Yeah. And they're up against Darricks, the balancer of the game, on 35Y, and Tryberius on 39Y. So we'll see what happens. Both teams have gone for 1 airborne division and then 1 slower division. 8th and 39th actually came out at the same time as each other because they're the American and Soviet counterparts. And 11 Easy and 35Y did not come out at the same time as each other, but they are the French and Soviet counterparts. So they're both airborne divisions. Looking at the deployments, Many Cigarettes has put a picket line across the whole map. So we got some Milan 2 cars, 20mm AA gun, so a recon vehicle there. So quite light on the right. And then on the left we got some Paris Marine, some towed AA guns, which you don't see very often. You used to be able to put them in houses, but I assume they fixed that because that was a very, very long time ago. You used to be able to put these AA guns in houses, which was really silly. I assume they fixed it. But yeah, so he's gone heavy on the AA guns, the 50 cals. No, hang on. Okay, so he's gone for both the MMG teams and the HMG teams. I prefer just the HMG teams. But there you go. Many Cigarettes, of course, plays a lot more than me. And yeah, his teammate on 8th, Lynchie, he's got the iHawk up, CV, and then 3 base M1 Abrams. So that's a very interesting deployment. I guess he's relying on Many Cigarettes to supply the infantry, and he's just supplying the tanks. But the base M1 does lose to the T-80BV, but the M1A1 reliably beats the T-80BV unless you're in ATGM range, in which case the T-80BV can't be shot, basically. And yeah, so Bradley there. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we've got the VAB T20 Eternal team. Team VAB T20 Eternal. And their 35Y player, sort of similar thing, just protecting on the right, but he's going pretty hard on the left. Wow. 6 PKM teams. Sappers, Igglers, 2 SPG-9 teams, Sniper team, yeah. And then Tryberius behind is actually playing 39Y, and he's not brought any autocannons in his deployment. He's just bringing the BMP-1P, which is 40 points, which is very expensive. The reason the price went up is because the bundle of sticks here, its pen went up to 17 from 16 because it became a bundle of sticks M, a mega bundle of sticks. And that means it one-shots any 3 armor IFV in the game. But given the divisions they're against, there are no 3 armor vehicles on the enemy team apart from the Recon Bradley. So I'm not sure why he's gone for the BMP-1s as opposed to the BMP-2. But the BMP-2 is very expensive now, it's like 65 points. And Darricks has gone for the BMD2, which is different. It's got the same autocannon, but less armor. Yeah, and the Cub. Really interesting. And, of course, the Rocket 2. So this thing carries 128 plus 64, 132, 192 rockets. I am doing a PhD. I should have got that a bit faster. 192 rockets, so it's still useless because dumbfire rockets are really bad in this game. But no, it has its uses. The only issue with it is that it's only got 8 HP, so it dies to 2 Igglers, whereas the Mi-24 dies to 2 Stingers. But when you know what divisions you're against, that doesn't matter because the enemy team only has 5 HE manpads so both of those would die in one hit. So let's cast the game, and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank you for watching the video, and I'd like to thank the generous channel joiners. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they also get members exclusive videos at a rate of 1 a week, which means there's really quite a lot of those by now. If you don't want to pay money to support the channel, that's absolutely fine. Please just leave a comment on the videos. Please like the videos, because basically if you do that, YouTube recommends the videos to more people. It takes you about 10 seconds per video. You can do it while watching the video, and it's free. So PKMs are all here now, and you know, I think they might be ideally suited for this map, particularly this position. So we've seen Darricks and Tryberius go for this map over and over. I think they were the pickers of the map. I'm not entirely sure. The draft procedure has changed a little bit from the qualifiers. And we always see Darricks playing these PKMs. And yeah, so Many Cigarettes has now figured out that these don't go in the buildings. I guess he's not been playing much recently, because now he's got these useless things in, not really doing anything. The disadvantage of these teams is that they basically die in like 2 howitzer hits, but they have survived long enough for the BMP 1Ps to get hit. And I suppose the reason he went BMP 1P is because you can get 4 of those instead of 3 BMP 2s, but honestly, I prefer 3 BMP 2s. Bradley's got a smoke there because the ATGM would one-shot that. And these Abrams, yeah, they're basically, this thing is going to frustrate usage of all those Abrams. Like these two aren't doing anything. This one is shooting. So realistically, you want these over here. So he's going to move them forwards, and then this thing's going to start shooting them. Okay, never mind. So Tryberius is going in for the kill, and that Abrams took a lot of bundles of sticks there. It got hit by a lot of bundles of sticks there, but it survived. The Abrams in this game is very strong. Some may say unrealistically strong, but the Americans are my largest audience, so what am I saying? The Abrams is mega IRL, incredibly good. Lynchie not cycling his infantry here, losing people. Many Cigarettes getting bursted down there. Will he leave in time? Because, you know, if you keep him alive, that's 75 points, right? Pivons, there's 2 armor there, survives the max range shot. But you see that these base M1 Abrams are just getting bullied by this 1 T80 BVK. So instead of going 3 M1s, he should have gone 2 M1A1s. I mean, they're 50 points more expensive, but I think it's a better idea. Because you see that this thing with its 17 pen can't even one-shot these vehicles, whereas the M1A1 probably will have been able to one-shot that at that range. Many Cigarettes getting bursted down there again. And yeah, over here, Many Cigarettes is pushing. He's realised there's a lot here. Maybe there's not so much here. He's bought 3 mortars. Yeah. And okay, so the Akula and the rocket plane are up now, and these M1A1s. Oh, that got side shot there by the Vicar missile. 26 pen. You see how this is yellow for 26, whereas this is green for 20, and this is blue for 24, but this is yellow for 26. So basically the colours lie, right? 4 pen is the highest pen on an autocannon, but it's red, so don't pay too much attention to the colours. The disadvantage of using the Akula is that in 1v1 you tend to get smacked by a plane, just flies the other way and just nosedives into this thing. It's 260 points, and the plane is usually cheaper. But when it's 2v2, you can have lots of AA, although there really isn't that much AA here. There's 1 Cub, left switched off by default, 1 Igla, and I don't even count this thing. But yeah, these Paras Marines are just getting lit up, man. The rocket helo usage, pretty good from Darricks. Lynchie buying mech rifles law to fill the gap. CV's already exposed here. And yeah, getting really good effectiveness out of this BTR-60. It will die to the Gazelle Hot 2, which should now start going on that tank. But you see, helicopters take a long time to adjust. They're just not very maneuverable. That Igla from before. So Darricks really needs to move up this Igla to deal with that, because this doesn't have anything going for it. But yeah, I think the 3 M1 purchase was very silly. I think 2 M1A1s would have been a much better investment. And then you would have saved money there to buy something Pivad's giving it its best shot, but the Pivad's got nerfed quite a lot and just goes 1v1. So I don't bring the Pivads now on most of my divisions. This MIA is being hit by Minstrel. Darricks not looking because he's looking over here, which is more important. Something Karma spoke to me a long time ago. If you remember, Karma used to be the best player in the game by a long way. He said, you know, you got to spend your micro, treat your micro like a resource. Spend your micro on your expensive units, right? So, you know, this is sort of a low priority front. The micro is over here, keeping this Akula alive. And that's good advice. That's some of the best advice I've received in this game. The only other good advice I've received is don't play it. So you see a lot of blue dying here, and basically, if you're... Oh, that ranger died in the transport there. If you're against a competent team who's pushing you, there's a tendency to... MiG-29, though, goes AFK, flies over those minstrels, goes down. There's a tendency to sort of feed the blob, like you're losing a position, you're like, I gotta buy, and you guys just die one at a time. But I feel that if many cigarettes in Lynchie had actually watched the games on the Hippie YouTube channel, I cast all of Darricks and Tryberius's qualifier games, they would have realised that they keep playing on this map, and so they should have banned this map, really. But, you know, moral of the story, watch Hippie YouTube videos. You see these two mortars here have basically contributed nothing. Oh, well, we got a unit there. So, yeah, mortars are just not... they're good for... They're great for smoke, but basically, when your enemy's running into you, they're not very effective. But yeah, they've done something, I suppose. So these MMGs are going to take out the most Strauki, but really, many cigarettes needs to get back in here. And just really good helicopter play from Darricks, and because these guys, like, they went for Pivads and stuff instead of Stingers, and you'll note that the Pivad's anti-healer range is 2,475, whereas the Vicar ATGM range is 2,800. So if your enemy micros these perfectly, basically the best way to kill them is to just run a suicided jet into them, which they've just not done. I mean, there's really only there's one Cub 1 Igla here, but they probably assume there's more. And you see that the M1A1 is dealing one... In fact, I think it just missed, to tell you the truth. It's just getting bullied by the TAEs. Oh, this is an M1A1. Okay, never mind. I thought it was just a base M1. Never mind. It just missed. And you see that Lynchie's really struggling to use his tanks here, because this Akula back here, and of course the Conkers and stuff, the Akula just sits here, and then you can't drive your tanks forwards because it just starts hitting them. So you need to get the Stingers up. Oh, T80BV, think he got side shot there. No, it was just a front shot. Darricks attacking over here as well. I mean, he did this in the last game he played. It's really not looking so good for blue. I do like... See, okay, so the mortars are doing something. I think 3 was a bit of an overinvestment, but one of them died, so... Oh, no, actually, they're all still alive. So there you go, the mortars have paid for themselves now, especially if they get that bundle of sticks there, which they do. But Tryberius is just trading so well with these... I mean, he just got an M1 there. He's trading quite well with these tanks, and this Paris Marine, if it was in this building, would be a big problem for all this, with the Appalachian, but it's in this building, so it can't do anything. The blue 4 infantry is better. I just think they're getting outplayed, basically. Because the red advantage right now is that they get grads, and so they can grad these areas, but they just haven't needed it. They're just out-microing their opponents. T8E blobs are pretty scary, though, mainly because of this auto-loader. It means that when the cohesion goes down, like this, it still fires at the same rate. The accuracy is reduced 75%, so 75% of 65 is what? I don't know, it's like 12%, right? Something like that. Because 10% is 6.5, so 20% would be 13. Yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, this is just sat here, and they're on a +2. And meanwhile, over here, stuff is happening as well. And, yeah, I said this in the last VAB T20 Eternal game as well. I just feel like the enemy don't have any units. And it's essentially because these two players work really, really well together. They do a lot of matches with each other. Every tournament they're together, basically. And so their synchronization is very good. Much better than most other teams in the tournament. So you see that the two blue players, although these guys play together every day as well. But yeah, I think it's just a case of, you know, if you take a small win and you just keep building on that, eventually, if you don't let your enemy react, and you don't overextend, then eventually you bomb the command, sapper, para... No, never mind. And as long as you keep the pressure on, don't let them get back into good positions, then you're golden. So yeah, Lynchie's managed to push him back, actually. That's a good Milan 2 spot, and I really did like the Gazelle Hot 2 in the back line, in the back here. It got quite a few kills, and if he healed it and got it a bit forwards, it could kill this as well, because you see, this has... Oh, okay, that's been buffed from a long time ago. But yeah, this Igla's finally here, whereas it was here before. So I guess he can't send it too far forwards or it'll die. Yeah, any more forwards it would die. So Lynchie's managed to stabilize a bit with the M1A1s, but he's just got to kill the... Okay, so iHawk goes in on the LGBT, hits it, so that we're not going to see that for 5 minutes now. But in the meantime, Darricks has just swapped up to attacking on the right. You see the Gazelle goes down to the Eagle there. Which is exactly what he did the last, like, 3 times on this map. I'm pretty sure we've only seen these guys on this map. I'm trying to think. They played 3 games. I covered all of them. I'm pretty sure they were on this map every single time, and they did the same thing every time. So it just goes to show that, you know, if you do your research, if you watch the Hippie YouTube videos, and you know, let's say you don't like listening to me, all of the replays are available on the WarYes Discord as they come in. So, I mean, there's no excuse really, but you have to appreciate that, you know, it is a game and most people don't really care enough to prepare in that way. Lynchie's bought an M270, and here we go. Okay, so Darricks bought the half grads. So, I really do think that Tryberius should be bringing the regular grads instead of Darricks buying the half grads. The half grads, 2 of these is worse than 1 regular grad, and it's more expensive. It's just the reload time's very high. It's just really not fantastic piece of kit. Mirage doesn't get his shot off, but does survive. So if he... okay, that's an interesting M270. So this is more of a cluster thing, but these squads are quite small. I do wonder what he's going to go for with this. He should probably go for the CV, but... we'll see. I mean, it's visible, or it should be. Paris Marine can't shoot because they're in the wrong building. If they just move forwards 1 building, they'll be able to nail that guy, which they are now doing. And we're seeing Red start to take some heavy losses here. You see the Appalachian takes a long time to aim, but it does quite a bit of damage, as you can see. But now all this fire supply, he just needs to leave immediately. He just needs to get them the hell out of that building. Look how fast they're going down. Oh man. But they wanted to keep the target painted for the LGBT, which worked, and now they're getting back. So I guess it makes sense. But you see this Akula's just bullying all these tanks, right? The Stingers need to move forwards, but then they're a 2-man team in the open. You see what's happening here. They're just getting completely rinsed. And down it goes. Because it got stunned, he couldn't smoke in time. And Darricks has just taken this zone. And this is exactly what happened in the last 3 games we cast with these guys. 2 or 3 games. First they hit here, and then they hit here. I've just seen them do it so many times, and people aren't learning. But hey, I mean, you're watching now, you know. So next time you're against Darricks and Tryberius, you know to ban this map, basically. Okay, so that goes down. But at this point, Red are pretty comfortable. So you see, like, Lynchie managed to push Tryberius out of here. But in the meantime, Darricks just beat Many Cigarettes. Because Many Cigarettes, of course, was contributing units here as well. So that's the advantage of 2v2, that if you synchronize with your team, you can beat people who I mean, in this case, I think the red team play more games, but there are situations where you can beat people who are better than you in 1v1. Like we saw that with the games with the like Woe Is Me, the current rank 1. He played in the qualifiers. You can catch those games. His team name was the Leftovers, and you know, best player in the world at 1v1 right now. But his 2v2 acumen was really not there. So yeah, it's just a different thing. I mean, I'll be honest. I think Reds won this. I can't really see Blue getting back in here, so we're gonna. Yeah, it looks like there's only a couple of minutes left. See the LGBTs coming out, and they are really good because they reload once every 60 seconds, and it's like a free kill on a 60-second cooldown. But it took him so long to buy them because of the pressure from the start. So I'm not sure why he's just sort of fed that, but with only a couple of minutes left, I guess he figured it was over. You don't want to be feeding your LGBTs like that. I think shooting over here would be a much better idea. And you see the collapse. There's just not enough blue units. And there's just a steady +4 for red. I think the mortars actually did something. I think it was probably a good purchase, the mortars. And Many Cigarettes is just having trouble getting these bombs off. There you go. So the Mirages came out for the helicopter. And like, imagine if he'd done that a couple minutes ago, but he probably just felt like he couldn't, because Red were just pushing him so hard that he just couldn't afford all these high point things. So as you can see, Darricks only has one rank game, very noobish player. Basically, he plays on multiple alt accounts. Tryberius has a lot of games. Sadly, it just comes up with my profile. Many Cigarettes has a lot of games, a lot of games. He's been playing a bit. I mean, look at that. That's twice as many as me, and I have more than the vast majority of people. But I think he's out of practice a bit lately. And Lynchie has a life, so, you know, sucks to suck, as they say. So, there you go. Your moral from the story should be, if you're serious about winning these tournaments, which, like, I mean, I don't really do my research on other teams, except for the fact that now I'm casting these games. I'm doing the research just by doing it. But if you're serious about winning it, you can just go look up the opponent's games, and generally they they do the same thing over and over. So you can just ban it, and then you got a much better chance of winning. So I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, please leave a comment.